consciousness, non-duality, duality, and the human condition, I'm going to explain using a yin-yang symbol to have some imagery for our mind to kind of grasp these more challenging concepts. It's helpful to have some imagery. Now, I'm not going to give the classic definition for the yin-yang symbol. That's not the intent and purpose right now. Just using imagery to explain complex topics. So let's first go into pure consciousness. So imagine pure consciousness is like this sheet of paper. The sheet of paper doesn't have anything on it, doesn't have any qualities per se on the sheet of paper. This sheet of paper, though, could become a painting, a poem, a book. It could become so many things. So pure consciousness is much like that. There is embedded within pure consciousness the potentiality for everything. Everything that can be and has been is coming from this state. It's like the quantum field. So no qualities, so no time, no space, no matter. But yet it's where time, space, and matter come out of, and all knowledge comes out of, and all abundance comes out of. So out of this pure consciousness comes the duality, comes that yin yang. So comes the opposites, the contrast. So consciousness is everything, limits itself to be a something. And we can say that this circle, this line that's around the circle of the yin yang symbol, we're going to call that's the limitation that consciousness has set for itself. It's limited itself. We're going to call that the line of forgetfulness. So to be that, consciousness has to kind of forget that it's everything to become this limited thing. So here we've got the veil of forgetfulness. Now the two can make many things. So the two come together and they make the many, which makes the world that we know and life that we understand, our perception of reality. And we call this a perception because it is just one aspect of awareness, one aspect that we can see. Now we have consciousness, that's another aspect that we can experience, but most we just experience this. We're in the land of forgetfulness. We forgot who we truly are, which is this vast, abundant consciousness, and we've thought and think that we are this limited identity, that we are in human form, and that we're on planet Earth, and all of that. So this is life that we know typically. We're going to say that this is the land of lack. Even though it's the land of many things, it's the land of many limitations, limited things. And this land of lack leads to the land of problems, because all problems only exist here in duality. There's no problems that exist in pure consciousness, only in the place of division and separation from pure consciousness. You're never fully separated, but you think that you are. That's the great lie. So this is the land of lies and illusions, limitations, forgetfulness, senses of lack, problems. This is the place that we get to play the victim, that the world happens to us, cause and effect, consequences. So the land of that. So as we go about living our life in the land of forgetfulness and the land of lack, up comes our identity and what we identify with. And we get the two opposites again, the yin and the yang. So enter the human condition into this duality that we are living and existing in. The human condition is wrought with longing and seeking, because we're living in the land of lack. And if you have a lack of something, you're going to long for it, or you're going to seek to fill the lack, right? So we spend our whole lives trying to fill this sense of lack that we have. And we get the yin qualities like, I feel less than. And then we get the yang qualities, I want more. And we fluctuate in life. I feel less than, I want more. I feel less than, I want more. Or I long and I seek. I long and I seek, right? It's this constant game, this constant play. In this yin state of being, we're in this place of affirm me, give me approval. In the yang state, we're in this prove to me quality. So we get the human condition. We play all of these human games, human condition games, to fill our sense of lack. And we do it with what I call like the vampire or the werewolf games or the victim games. The vampire, werewolf. Vampire trait is comparison. You know, like, oh, I'm comparing myself because I feel less. So I look to them. I think that they're more, and I have to, you know, compete and compare to match up with them. And then there's expectations on this yang side. The expectations are kind of like demands. So comparisons, expectations. Who hasn't gone through life having some form of comparison with something or someone, and who hasn't gone through life having some sort of expectations? And they all come from a root sense of lack. So then we have validation seeking, and we have judgments. We have people pleasing. We have assumptions. We have shame. We have blame. We have self-pity. We have complaining. What are the other ones? We have manipulation and subversion. We have control and domination. We have distractions, excuses, and avoidance. That's on both parties. Distractions, excuses, and avoidance. We have narcissism. Narcissism really is just ego traits. And the ego traits are those parts that limit us, that make us feel less than. And narcissism isn't just the grandiose narcissism that we are told, that there is somebody who is gaslighting or abusing a person who is now become a victim. That both parties are actually narcissists. There's the grandiose narcissist, who is a little more yang, is a little more dominant, controlling, who their sense of identity is in a false sense of identity. So they have built themselves this mirage of an identity. And then you have the narcissist's victim, which is just another type of a narcissist. It's the small me narcissist, the self-doubt narcissist. This person has built their identity on, I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am. And this is like, I know who I am. They're both in the false. But then they come together to try to form a whole, which is much of what we tend to do in all of these little games that we play, is we try to tend to come to fill a lack, or we try to come together to make two halves into a whole, right? So the truth lies in that state of pure consciousness and awareness of who you truly are, which is that pure consciousness state, which is the I am, the truth, and the remembrance. Now, what if we lived in this world of duality? Duality is the yin yang, right? And all the problems that happen here and all the things that happen to us here. What if there is within this little gateways to see into the other side, the side where consciousness is whole and pure, the I am, the truth, the remembrance. Maybe within the world, part of the game of the world, instead of being the victim game of this happens to me and I do that and then this happens, instead of that, what if this journey and this game and this play of life is to find these little portals, these little gateways, to see through the duality to the truth of who you are, true to your pure consciousness, to your state of remembrance. Because anything that can be known, anything that you can learn in the world is essentially false. The things that you are truth are that which you remember. You remember the truth. You're not told the truth. You uncover the truth. You discover the truth. So we can imagine that this world that we live in, with all of its show and play and all the adventure that is here, that behind it, within it, hidden within there, is the light of pure consciousness that we are able to tap into if we so choose, and tap into that reality, to that place where we realize, we remember the truth. We remember the wisdom. We remember the knowledge, because knowledge is really just knowing. And we come back to who we truly are. Now we can still live in the world and all of its play, but now we do it from a different vantage point, from a different viewpoint, right? We pierce through the duality and we see it for what it is. And then we see who we truly are. And then we operate within the duality from that state of consciousness, awareness, and being.